Gen Z fans, what up? It's week 13. It's another strong Sunday slate. We got a lot of games, which I'm pretty excited about, especially because there's 6 teams that are playing on Thanksgiving. So we got a whole bunch of games here on Sunday. It's a pretty good slate. There's nothing that I was looking at like, man, I don't know what is a guaranteed win other than my bold prediction. I think there is one guaranteed win. Who do they play? Who do the Patriots
The Colts at home. And
I did see that. I was going to pick DeMario Douglas to go over 50 yards, but I didn't. But either way, I'm going to have 2 bold predictions on what's going to happen Sunday, and Seb's going to have 2 bold predictions what's going to happen Sunday, and then we're going to talk about that 49ers and Bills Sunday Night Football game.
That's going to be a game. Anyways, 1 p.m. Drake may have to have over 200 pass yards.
Okay.
They play the Colts at home this week with the 19th pass defense in the league. Colts really aren't good versus the opposing quarterbacks.
No.
He's gone over 200 yards pretty well in 5 games. He started and finished this year. That is important to what I'm about to say. And at home, he's had 243 versus the Texans, a.k.a. pass rush defense in the league. And 23 versus the Jets, but he left with a concussion before he was absolutely killing the Jets. Just killing them. 23 doesn't show for it because he was scrambling a lot. And versus the Rams, he had 282.
And he's had over 200 in 2 straight games. I have it right here.
Yes. So 2 out of 3 home games he started and finished. He was well over 200 pass yards, and the last 2 was 282 and 222. The Rams and Colts are very similar when it comes to their secondaries, and he had a 100.6 passer rating on the Rams at home. Colts have also allowed 11th most pass yards at 234,955.
The most total.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, 11th most pass yards.
I thought you said first. My
total.
bad.
Now, 4 p.m. Mike Evans to record 60 receiving
That game's
yards.
in Indianapolis, right?
No, it's in New England.
Okay.
This is why I kind of wish my graduation was this weekend because
we had a good weekend.
Oh, I know. I know. It'll be nice to see the Patriots play, but I'll get there. 4 p.m., Mike Evans to record 60 receiving yards. Evans has 102 catches for 1,480 yards and 11 touchdowns versus the Panthers in his career. The Panthers have allowed 2,608 pass yards to opponents this season. Panthers are the 12th ranked defense versus the receiver position, but Evans is an elite receiver who has had their number.
And a lot of that, the reason why they're ranked 12th, like above average and close to top 10, is because they're down, so teams run the ball.
Yes.
They don't pass the ball.
Yeah, time
the
to conserve the time. His first game back from injury, he reached 68 on 5 catches. Before his injury, he went over 63 times out of 7 games, with one of them being at 94 versus the Eagles. And keep in mind, all those games had Chris Godwin in it. This one won't, and last week didn't either.
Why did you have to specifically mention the Eagles game?
The opponents. So,
You only listed the Eagles. You didn't list any of the other opponents except for my Eagles.
Well, because that was the game he had the most in.
Okay.
Which is the Eagles have the best defense.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
Evans, taking me to the Eagles bar was a mistake. I hate the Eagles even more now. Evans
hate the Eagles even more after you're embraced by the fans?
Yes. Who has on the menu boneless wings? And they gave you tenders. I ordered 12 boneless wings, and they gave me 12 chicken tenders.
That has nothing to do with
this big. And then I left my leftovers there because I Because
you're too scared of the Eagles fans. You're shaking out of your boots.
There were a lot of short people in there. I haven't seen so many short people in one place in my life.
Short, good-looking people.
Evans may even get his first 100-yard game of the year in this game.
He's chasing his 11th straight season of over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's going to get it.
So, he's 100% motivated. All right, so that takes me to my bold prediction. The Texans will win their 7th game in a row on Jacksonville's turf. Since 2017, the Texans have beat the Jaguars every time they play in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has never beaten this team ever at Everbank Stadium. So Trevor Lawrence has never gotten the dub at Everbank Stadium in his own home turf against the Texans. And we don't even know if Trevor Lawrence is playing. So it might be better off for the Texans. It might be better off for the Jaguars if Mac Jones is playing. Is he going to play? Most likely not. They have failed to go over 24 points since having Mac Jones play. This offense is in shambles. The only way that this team has a chance to beat the Texans is the Jaguars' pass rush with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, or Josh Hines Allen, I should say. But the Texans are going to win this game. They've lost the last 3 out of 4 games. They have not looked good. The only team they beat is the Cowboys, and they didn't even look that good in that win. I think the Texans are going to win for a 7th straight time on the Jaguars field. So, in 5 out of those 6 games, the Texans have won by 7 points or more. So these games really aren't even that close because it's a whole touchdown or more in 7 out of those last 6 games. Like I said, they've won 6 games in a row. They're going to win their 7th, and this streak since 2017 is going to keep going. So if you're in Jacksonville, which is about 5 hours away from us right now, don't go to the game unless you're a Texans fan or a CJ Stroud fan, because Jags fans, you're going to be leaving looking like sad puppies. All right, so for my second bold prediction, Puka Nacua will have his third straight 100-yard game in a row, along with a Rams win that ends the Saints' 2-game win streak.
Wait. He had 100 yards versus the Eagles?
Yeah. So, not only will Puka have his third straight game of 100 yards, but the Rams will win, and they'll get back in the win column, and they will end the Saints' 2-game win streak. And the Saints did have a win streak earlier in the year. It was when they started 2-0, and they're going to end this one. So they are not going to have a 3-game win streak at any period in the season. That is my bold prediction. The Saints defense gives up the 5th most yards per game to the wide receiver position. The wide receiver position averages 178 yards per game against these Saints defensive backs. The last game, they gave up 266 yards to the Browns receivers. That's Jameis Winston, who just plugged in. And that's the Browns receivers, who Jerry Jeudy is the best one on the field. He's really not all that great to be giving up 266 yards to. Not him alone, but the whole wide receiver position. Elijah Moore, David Njoku. Those are very average weapons.
Whoa. Average. David Njoku's top 10 tight end in the league.
He is, but he's not top
Nick
5.
Chubb is not a average weapon.
We're talking about passing yards.
Okay. They checked
Jerry
out.
Jeudy, Elijah Moore, and David
Elijah
Njoku.
Moore should be better than he is, but
I like Elijah Moore, but he isn't that great.
Jets
266
ruined his
yards
career.
to the wide receiver position alone is not that good. The game previous to that, he gave up 223 yards to the Falcons wide receivers. The Saints gave up 223 yards to the Falcons wide receivers, and the following week, 266 to the Browns. Then, 2 weeks prior to that, 2 weeks prior to that, then they gave up 218 yards to the Chargers. Only 2 weeks before that, like I said. So 3 out of the last 4 games, they've given up over 218 yards.
Yowzers.
That's a lot. 220 in the last 2 back-to-back. Puka has had 117, 123, and 98 yards in his last 3 games. Since returning from injury, he's had 100 yards in 3 out of his last 5 games, and one of those being the 98-yard game. So 4 out of those last 5 being 98 yards. Then, to go along with no less than 9 targets in 4 out of 5 games. The game is in a dome with a 49 point total. The Saints are 3-3 at home. I like for the Rams to end the Saints win streak and Puka Nacua to go over 100 yards for his 3rd game in a row.
Okay. That's fair.
So pair that 100-yard Puka game with Saints win. With Rams win.
So, for my 49ers versus Bills Sunday Night Football, I'm taking the 49ers to win this game.
I knew you were going to say this.
You had the same reaction for the Browns and Steelers game, and what happened?
I had the same reaction every single time you talk about the Niners and the Steelers.
Well, I was right about the Browns game.
You were right about that.
I'm going to be right about this one, too.
You weren't right about the Commanders against my Eagles.
Whatever. You should not bring that up. You have no reason to be happy with the Washington Commanders right now. At all.
I don't.
You have no reason.
So that's why I brought up their demise.
I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up because that is the most...
Sir Shank-a-lot, my parlay. Okay? He bent it over and screwed it in the butt.
So
it's okay.
Okay, 49ers win this game 23-20. Really low-scoring game. It's supposed to snow. It's going to be cold and possibly windy. And they're going to give the Bills their first home loss of the season. When you look at these two teams, the Bills can't afford a loss. They really can. While the 49ers absolutely cannot. And on a week where the 49ers division can face all losses. The Seahawks play the Jets. Jets, they need a win for their morals. Cardinals at the Vikings. The Vikings are just unstoppable. And, well, not unstoppable, but they're really hard to beat. And the Rams are at New Orleans. New Orleans has found a spark in their offense, so that's going to be something interesting. So the 49ers sit last in the division at 5-6. Only one game behind first place at 6-5, which is Seattle. And again, they have to play the Seahawks again, right? They do have to play the Seahawks again?
No. They have to play the Rams. They have to play the Cardinals.
So they're done playing the Seahawks for the year. Okay, so even more reason why they need this game.
Because they kicked the crap out of them on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then they lost this last game.
So this shows you how tight it is and how much a win is needed here for this San Fran team. While the Bills have been on top of the division all year long, and they have a 4-game lead over Miami in second that is 5-6, and the Dolphins are about to lose to the Packers. And the Jets and the Pats are 3-8 and 3-9. So they're out of it. Also, they are on a 6-game win streak and are due for a loss. Every team in the NFL is going to be due for a loss at some point, and that loss is going to happen. But with the cherry on top, it's projected to be snowy, and it is in Buffalo, so it's going to be windy. And the Bills have the 30th ranked rush defense coming into the week. And what weapons do the 49ers have that could expose that rush defense even more? Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. It's going to snow. If Brock Purdy is able to play, they won't pass the ball. They're just going to run the ball and have, I forgot the play name, what they run for Deebo, but they're going to rush the ball with CMC and Deebo Samuel, and they're just going to use those two to kill you all night.
A jet sweep with Deebo?
Jet sweep. So
they even put him in the backfield sometimes. Wide receiver.
He could do everything. And I think with one of the low-ranking rush defenses, that's how I would approach this game. And if I'm Kyle Shanahan, which is, by the way, an offensive mastermind, that's what he's going to do. Oh, they can't stop the run? Here you go, Christian. Here you go. Here you go. Look, here's the ball.
So, I understand that. Are they going to win this game even if Brandon Allen plays and not Brock Purdy?
If they run the ball, yeah.
Okay. So, I agree with Seb in that aspect that the Bills can be exploited through the run because they can. They give up 4.6 yards per carry to running backs.
That means running backs CMC average? Around 5.5.
No, that's the thing. In the past 2 games, CMC has averaged only 3.1 yards per carry in the past 2 games. So he hasn't been looking that good. That's why I chose the Bills to win this game 31-17.
Oh, that is a high-scoring game for what kind of conditions it's going to be, but go on.
No, you're absolutely right. And those conditions are why I think it's going to play in the Bills' favor. These boys are coming from San Fran. These boys are coming from the West Coast where it's not cold.
We've seen teams come in here and beat the Bills from hotter conditions.
You're right, and we've seen San Fran beat the Packers in Lambeau a couple times throughout the playoffs. But I still think the Bills, they're more accustomed to playing in that weather. They have the home crowd. Like you said, they're undefeated at home. I can see them losing, but I think they're going to win big because they beat up on bad teams. And this San Fran team is a bad team. Brandon Allen, if he's at quarterback, I guarantee a Bills win.
They're not a bad team. They're just super. Were the Eagles a bad team when they had injuries everywhere?
Yes.
No, they were an injured team. They're
exactly.
Injured.
But they were bad. The team they were putting out there was bad. They were bad. This Niners team
Fred
is
Warner
bad.
has been playing with a broken ankle since week 4.
And he's not nearly as good. He's good. He's a good player.
His ankle is like that.
Yeah, I respect that. He's a dog for playing, but it's not a good team.
Okay.
I actually don't mind saying it. I used to like the Niners until they started disrespecting the crap out of my Eagles. And him just loving them even more just made me not like them.
They beat you guys. No, they ran through y'all in the link, which earned my respect.
It's okay, but
because the link is the hard,
when it
one of the
mattered
hardest
most,
places to win.
we beat the crap out of them in the NFC Championship.
They didn't have a quarterback,
and they sucked. That team was bad.
They didn't have a quarterback. They had Christian McCaffrey at quarterback.
Good. It sucks to suck. All right. This team is injured and they can't get it together. Brandon Allen's probably playing quarterback, even if he isn't, and Brock Purdy is. I like the Niners' chances more, but I don't think they're going to do it. The Bills are 6.5 point favorites. That's why I have them winning by 14, because I think it's going to be within 7, and people are going to be like, oh man, I'm going to get my 6.5. I'm going to get my 6.5. And then the Bills are going to score a late touchdown because they always don't let their foot off the gas. They never let their foot off the gas. They always keep their foot on the gas. San Fran is under 500 and 2 games back from leading the division. Like Seb mentioned, these guys are their division opponents can lose these games. They still play the Rams and the Cardinals, and they play the Bears, and they play the Lions. So 4 out of their next 5 games are NFC games. They can get a wild card spot. They know that. I don't think this Bills team is slowing down for this Niners team. That's just me. I got the Bills winning 31-17.
Well, I think this is
I knew you were going to pick the Niners. I was like, he's going to pick the Niners. I'm like, I know.
Why is that a problem? I gave a good claim to why.
Faith.
I gave a good claim to why.
No, the run game is a good claim. Like, absolutely.
Christian McCaffrey was the best running back in the NFL last year.
He was for a couple years.
And then his injuries set him back. I think him and Saquon would be neck and neck right now if he played the whole year.
So Saquon's better than Derrick Henry? I think
right now, yeah. Derrick Henry's last few games have not been good. They have not been good at all. And yeah, Saquon right now is the best running back. He could win MVP. Christian McCaffrey should have won MVP last year.
I agree.
If you ask me, and I think Saquon is in the same boat. But of course, the NFL is going to give it to Lamar Jackson or a quarterback
Lamar's been pretty great though.
Yes, but
no, I think I'm all for Saquon, man. I'd love to see my Eagles player win an MVP. But they didn't give it to Jalen Hurts here. We went into the Super Bowl, so it is what it is.
It's fine. Well, we'll see you guys next week. And as you can tell, we're not in Boston anymore. I don't like this. I don't like your roof. I hate your roof. Yeah. I love that beautiful sky.
Popcorn ceiling is not good. Popcorn. It is. Popcorn ceiling.
We'll see you guys next week, and we're getting close to playoffs.
Deuce.